I am Shekhar Mande. I am currently the Distinguished Professor in Savitribai Phule, Pune University. It was formerly known as University of Pune in the Department of Bioinformatics. And concurrently, I also have an appointment as a J.C. Bose Fellow in the National Center for Cell Science in Pune. So I was in a sense privileged that while I was a student of BSc, molecular biophysics was emerging as a very exciting field all over the world, and many of us had heard about the contributions of professors like J.N. Ramchandran and all, and how that actually had brought a lot of respect to Indian scientists around the world. So in that sense, Professor J.N. Ramchandran was an iconic figure for Indian science. Luckily, what happened in 1982 when I was in my final year BSc was that Nagpur there was a conference called National Seminar on Crystallography, in which the opening address was to be given by Professor Ramchandran. And all of us went for the address. Unfortunately, on that day, Professor J. Ramchandran could not come to Nagpur, and his address was read out by Professor M. Vijayan, who also was at that time was at Molecular Biophysics Unit of Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. And that naturally rekindled my interest in biophysics. I did a project in BSc studying hemoglobin molecule and its structure and things like that. But all of that put together, it appeared to be a very exciting emerging field for me to undertake them. So, per se, it will be very difficult to identify the gaps that are there. For a long time, between 1970s and maybe until about 1990s or 2000s, we had been saying that our facilities are not up to the mark and compare them to anywhere in the world. So that doesn't exist anymore. Our research facilities now are comparable to anywhere else in the world. So that's definitely true. But what really we don't have, for example, we don't have critical mass in any of the areas. Let you consider any branch of science and ask how many people are there working in that particular special field of science, and you will find that answer is almost always very small number of people who are in that. So that's number one. That situation has arisen because although India employs a large number of people as faculties and scientists and whatnot, we still need to increase that number several fold, and that can only happen by increasing the budget of the country, R&D budget of the country. So if that happens, then we will be able to actually match up, because we have to build up a critical mass in every area, and not only in science, also in applications of science and technology and engineering, social aspects of science, in all of them. So if you are able to actually increase that particular gap between number of people working in every area, it will be good. There are a few areas in which we have some outstanding individuals who work in the country. When there's take an example, string theory, the exceptional group of individuals have contributed outstandingly well to the world of string theory anywhere in the world. But those kind of examples are exception. In most areas, we still need to actually start making significant contributions per se, and that can happen if we actually, number one, increase the group of people working in every area, number two, provide them with solid support, and number three, perhaps easing the processes by which science and technology can be operated in a lab. So they are the essential thing. And then, of course, challenge the people to undertake most cutting edge, most contemporary problems. So all of it together can help Indian science. So the advice as I spoke in my lecture today would be essentially to identify some outstanding problem. And the problems are not very difficult to identify. If one reads a few books here and there and one tries to understand a particular subject, one can actually come up with hundreds or thousands of questions in every chapter that we read, right? So every possible subject has plenty of open questions, and our ability to ask those questions and answer them in a reasonable way is what actually the young students can do.